Let's take a few minutes to use the rubric that I had given you for the introductory discussion where you were introducing yourself. And let's kind of talk about two of the three components of the rubric. What I want to talk about are the criteria, the levels of achievement, and then we'll say the third component, which is the evaluation method. We'll save that for next week. But let's talk first about the criteria. In your assignment for the introductory discussion, I told you to talk about four different things. I told you to introduce yourself, to talk about your experience, to talk about your reason for taking the course, and then the one thing you wanted to walk away from the course with. The criteria are usually the easiest part of the rubric for faculty to write because they're the things that must be included. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this other thing, and they have to be there. And so they're pretty easy to identify those parts. Sometimes we tend to though group together pieces that should be separated out, and we can talk about that as we talk about your individual criteria that you are posting this week. But so those are the criteria and the easiest part to do. Students can easily look at criteria and say, okay, yeah, I can introduce myself. Yeah, I can talk about my experience. I can talk about my reason for taking this course and the one thing I want to get out of it. But the problem is if we just give them criteria, which often is what we do when we say, give me this, 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 and this in instructions for an assignment, is this could be answered in a couple of sentences. Hi, my name is Donna Kay. I've never used rubrics before. I'm taking this class because it's required for my major and I'm hoping to get an A in it. 2 sentences, I've met the criteria. But have I met the criteria the way you were hoping I would meet the criteria? Do you really know much about me except for, I'm taking it because I have to. I don't necessarily want to be here. Okay, so list those out. Think about it. But it's in this other part, the levels of achievement and the description of what those levels of achievement mean, that we really are providing information to our students. So what I want to talk about are the fact that I gave you guys 3 levels of achievement. I marked them: excellent, satisfactory, and needs improved. Excellent is probably pretty good. Needs improved is okay. But I want to ask you guys that received the score of satisfactory, those of you who I gave a satisfactory to, how did that make you feel? Are you like me and satisfactory to you means, yeah, I'll take it, you met the requirements, but barely. It's not really what I was looking for, but okay. And really, what I was asking you to do was more than just okay. You could have made a satisfactory for not doing for something so little as not providing both good and bad examples. Could have given you satisfactory, and you might have thought, wow, that's a little tough. And the other piece of that is that I scored at 100%, 50%, and 0%. But let's think about it. In order to get the certificate of completion in this class, you have to score at an 80%. So obviously if you get a certificate of completion, you've made satisfactory work. You've done that 80%. So really, I probably would have been better off if this had been 80% instead of 50%. It doesn't always have to be equal increments. The increments that you give need to reflect the value of the work and the levels of accomplishment. So there might be that I put excellent, above average, average, below average, and needs improved. Excellent is 100%. Average is, or above average is 90%, and average is 75%. It really depends. It's kind of subjective, but you want to go ahead and be subjective here so that once you start grading, you're grading everyone equally. Also, and I think I'll mention this in the next video, you want to make sure that the terms that you use here, excellent, satisfactory, needs improved, are terms that are appropriate. If you're teaching upper level students, you want to use those more professional level terms. If you're teaching introductory students, those lower level students that are kind of hesitant to begin with, you might want to use terms that are more encouraging to them, and I'll talk about that in the next video.